Cool beans.
Superb.
Right, we're going to go. This evening, I wanted to go a different direction to what's normal.
Ooh.
And the reason for that is we always talk about, dynamics and mental health and crime and issues and all of this. I wanted to get down to brass tacks. And one of my good friends uses these and this for a living, right? Don't you? Right? So tonight, on my left is Robin from Mill Green Forge. Good evening.
Hello, Jim. How are you?
I'm good. The reason I wanted to bring you here is obviously we are friends. You helped me out when I first started building tables and all of that, and your dad did too, bless him. And I just thought it'd be really important to look at the changes. So how you grew up, how that world was. But your dad was a master blacksmith.
Yeah.
Are you a master blacksmith? No. You're a blacksmith.
I'm just a blacksmith.
I'm just a blacksmith.
And depending on who you ask, some people won't even call me a blacksmith.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's quite harsh because I've seen you blacksmithing. So, yeah. What's that about?
All that is so years ago there was a group got together and said, we need to organise blacksmiths.
Right.
And they started a group. And they did a lot of good and still do a lot of good for blacksmithing. Okay. But at some point, it went the wrong direction. And a lot of the old boys that started it went, this is going wrong, right, and left.
So was it like a union or
yeah,
like a...
Yeah. So it's still known as BABA, the British Association of Blacksmith and Artistry.
Okay.
That last word is where it went wrong at some point.
Okay. But
it came back, and now they're fantastic. They're great. But they're still, some of them can be a bit clicky.
Yeah, I bet.
And you have to be affiliated with them to be a master, do you? Or
yeah. So at some point, someone decided that you have to enter so many competitions a year, etc., etc., etc. You had to be under so many of the masters within the guild or within the association. All these little things that they decided to bring in. And a lot of the old boys went, that's not how it was, and that's not how it should be. Right. A master should be trained as a master, under a master, etc., etc.
You achieve a certain level of blacksmithing, and then you're a master, rather than having to tick a box.
Rather than having to tick boxes and enter competitions. So at one point, Dad almost lost his masters because they were going to go, well, you've not entered any competition, so you can't be a master.
Good luck with that competition, quite frankly.
Yeah, that's pretty much what Dad said.
Yeah. Good luck with that conversation. Good luck with all of that. Your dad has passed.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Unfortunately, he has. Right, I can tell you, right, your dad, you told me about your dad. He said he can be a bit prickly, but if you show that you're doing it, he will take you on.
Yeah.
And he fucking did. Sorry, but he did. So when I first came in, he was like, and I was keep buying things off the short rack and all of that. The shorts rack is literally his offcuts that are up there, which is my paradise. So I would go and pick
the useful bits that we forget about.
Yeah. Luckily for me, you forget about them. So if you don't know, I used to have a business called Metal Machine, and when I started all that, I needed help. Loads of it. And Robin and his dad and Mill Green Forge were there for me. Quite honestly, I couldn't have learnt what I did without them. But what was interesting was your dad, he used to test me without me knowing. So he'd be going, so what are you building? And be not hostile. There was never any hostility. He'd be like, so what are you building? So how have you done that?
Yeah.
What's going on with the corners? And I'm like, hold on a fucking minute. I don't work for you. And then I thought, shut up and listen, because he knows it all.
And I find myself doing it without even realising as well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, that's great, because have you still got 2 apprentices, or is it 1?
So technically our apprentice isn't really an apprentice anymore. He's there. He's just got to pick up his timing on how long to take on things, but he's there.
But, so, okay, that's cool, which means that you are fully involved in teaching, training, nurturing, mentoring.
When we can, yeah. Yeah.
But also, the best way to do that, throw on the job and get on with it.
Do it.
Yeah, and the thing I remember about your dad as well is over like 4 different visits, all of a sudden I was building tables that had like different legs, and it wasn't just square. And he went, oh, how have you done that? And I said, well, Robin drew me a drawing and then said, go and make it. And he went, oh, okay. And then went quiet. And then the next time I came in, he went, have you thought of this? Have you done this? Can you do this? And was giving me all this knowledge. And I'm genuinely grateful for that man.
Yeah, and that's I still, as I said, I find myself doing it. I say to the lads we've got working for us, I can show you it, but until you do it yourself, you won't know.
Yeah.
If you spend 10, 15, 20 minutes, an hour, 2 hours longer than it takes me to do, I don't care, as long as you've learned from what you've done.
Yeah.
If you haven't learned, there's a problem.
Yeah.
And
until you start hitting that piece of metal, you don't know how it's going to move.
Yeah. I think it's really important as well to learn from the best. And I did that by accident. Obviously, I learned from you, and I freely admit that.
Second best.
No. But look, credit where credit's due. Your dad was your dad, and there wasn't anything about that he didn't know, right? Like, come to the new stuff with all the metally cutting out with lasers, right? He wasn't all that, right? Because he didn't want to do that. But with his hands, the things he could make was unbelievable. And I always thought, and I still think a little bit, that all this metalwork stuff, which is what I've said to you since I started, everything about that's fucking magical. And you would look at me and go, you know how to do that? And I'm like, well, yeah, but I know. And you just go and do it, Jim. I'm like, yeah, all right, fucking hell.
So there was one particular type of twist in metal that my dad used to always do every now and again. So my dad used to do all the shows. So when Dad first started by himself down at Mill Green, hence our name.
Yeah.
Of course, you got Mill Green Museum around the corner.
Yeah.
And every summer they'd have an open day, and every summer Dad would be there with the portable forge doing the display, both Saturday and Sunday, probably for 4 to 6 weekends of the summer, and just showing people what he loved. And he very rarely made money on the day. It was always, I remember, and the customer would come to us. He'd literally make a poker in 5, 10, 15 minutes, and it'll be a ram's head poker, twisted horns, the lot. And when you're set up to do that, it's really quick. When you're only doing the one, it's not that quick.
Yeah.
But he used to just hand them out. There's a poker. Here's a toasting fork, and just hand them out. And that got him loads of business.
Yeah.
And eventually, it just sort of, the shows didn't dry up. We just got too busy to carry on doing it.
Yeah.
But there was this one particular twist that he would never show me or my brother how to do.
Right.
It was always, go work it out.
Yeah.
That's how all the original blacksmith that started without anyone got a piece of metal, went, heat it up. I can do that.
Yeah.
And did something with it. And they learned by doing something.
Yeah. And I can honestly tell you that the most important thing, right, after me realising it wasn't magic and you just have to learn, right, was the fact that you or he or somebody would say, Jim, just go and build it, mate. Right, I would.
You had to have the confidence in yourself to give it a go.
And it's the same with everything. I mean, I talk to my clients day in, day out about things. I've got a few business clients and it's just like, you know why you're not doing this? You don't need me to tell you how to do it. You already know how to do it. You are just afraid that you'll fail. And if you fail, that's learning. So fail on your own time, push yourself forward, and then learn from that failure. Because next time, guess what? You might know. And I think that's important. So where did you grow up? Did you grow up in Hertfordshire?
Yeah, grew up in Wedding Garden.
Right.
So my dad grew up in Tottenham until my granddad worked for a big hotel company.
Yeah.
Both my granddad and my grandma. And they turned around one day and went to my granddad, what do you know about pigs? And my granddad went, absolutely fuck all.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you're our new pig man. We're moving you to Bootman's Park. You're going to be looking after a herd of pigs.
God, that's fucking random.
So moved the entire family out into Bootman's Park.
Right.
And then into another farm in Essendon to look after the cows.
Yeah.
Because literally, what do you know about cows? As
much
as I knew about pigs.
Yeah.
Well, you're now a new dairyman. And so the family moved from Tottenham into Essendon eventually.
Yeah.
And then from there, Dad went on holiday with the family down to Cornwall. On the side of the road, there was a blacksmith shoeing a horse.
Right.
And he went, that's what I want to be. So from that holiday, it was like, right, I'm going to the local forge.
Cool.
Which was Essendon Forge,
yeah,
where we are now. He served his apprenticeship there. Obviously, served his apprenticeship, did everything.
Yeah.
And then the month I was due, Dad opened up his own business.
Right.
So,
Great timing.
1980,
Yeah.
I'm making my own business. I'm still in hospital,
Yeah.
and away he went. So from then on, Wedding Garden City, born and bred.
Yeah. That's interesting as well, isn't it? Because obviously Mill Green Forge is called Mill Green Forge because it started off in Mill Green.
In Mill Green,
Yeah. And now he's in Essendon,
where he started as an apprentice.
which is really weird and kind of incestuous in the best way. So, you know.
It's the little village. They're all web-footed.
No, I'm not commenting on that. Now Sean's moved out. That's all right because he won't beat me. I think what's interesting though is because we're going to jump a little ahead. So obviously he made a success in his business, but it's never easy, and he had ups and downs.
His boss always used to say, "You never be rich as a blacksmith." There are some rich ones out there. They run big businesses looking after restoration works that are worth anything from 100,000 to millions.
Yeah,
but they are big businesses. They've got 14 blacksmiths underneath them, and they're all
full on
journeyman blacksmiths and master blacksmiths. They are there.
What? So, tell me the story of why he moved back. So, why did he move from Mill Green to what is?
So, Dad's boss, who ran Essendon Forge, wanted to shut shop and owns the premises.
Right.
But he wanted to shut shop and didn't want the company name to go with anyone, so shut the business.
Shut down completely.
Yeah.
Okay.
But made a deal with a fabrication company, but they would come in, pay him rent, and anyone who wanted to continue working there as a fabricator, because in the lease was, so although he owns the land, he owns the lease of the land. Underwritten in the lease was that there must be a working forge on the premises.
Right.
So any company can be there as long as there's a working forge in there.
Yeah.
So the idea was this fabrication company would come in, take on anyone who wanted to continue working there.
Yeah.
And then if those who didn't, see you later, goodbye, thank you very much for your business, and off they went. And my dad went, I don't want to be a fabricator, I'm a blacksmith.
Yeah.
So went around a few other businesses and that, did learn some other trades just to sort of keep going until we got enough money to go, right, okay, I'm ready to go now. And started his own business down in Mill Green, and off he went. And in a way, a little bit of competition against the company that went into Essendon Forge.
Right.
Strangely, my uncle, part of the deal is that my uncle, who was the apprentice at Essendon Forge at that time, had to stay on to finish his apprenticeship at that company.
Right.
And of course, that was a struggle because they weren't interested in blacksmithing, and that's what he was apprenticing as.
Yeah.
Going to Hereford for college, and that turned into a little bit of a snot fest. And one day, my dad got a phone call from an uncle going, "I'm in Hereford, and they're throwing all my tools out." So my dad had to go down to the workshop, pick up all the tools, and when uncle came back from the Hereford from his college, he started working for my dad as a blacksmith there.
Right. That's a bit cheeky, isn't it?
Yeah.
What a load of shitbags. Right. So, because your uncle was working there till quite recently.
Yeah, so up until 2 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Because I always thought
Finally
he
retired.
Actually, your uncle.
He's
I really
just a
did.
moody,
Yeah.
lovable, moody bastard.
Yeah, I know. We had a conversation. We had a conversation once, and kind of, I was a bit like, okay, that is just you, and it's not me. It's not my fault.
He
So I'm gonna
used
let
to
that
get
go.
nicknamed Victor Meldrew.
Right. I'll drink to that. Okay, so he's running that, and then what happened to the manufacturing company? Then they must have.
So that company, I can't remember if that company went tits up and folded and that was it, or whether they were the ones who opened up again, but there was technically 3 businesses,
Right.
but one of those businesses shut and opened again under a different name.
Okay.
Of course, in the 80s, that happened all over the place. It still happens now a little bit, but and eventually they went tits up for the last time, and the premises was left empty for, I think, 4 or 5 years. No one was there.
Right.
And our landlord was, I mean, he was a master blacksmith and very good businessman as well. I mean, he knew to buy the lease and all that lot, and if you can, why not? Meant no rent. But yeah, so he knew my dad's lease was coming up at Mill Green.
Yeah.
Went and had a little chat with my dad and went, right, lease is coming up. Do you want to come up to Essendon and carry on up there?
Right.
And if anyone knows Mill Green area, the forge is still there. It's a listed building. Yeah. It has 2 brick forges in there. Only one was usable.
Right.
But it's tiny. I mean, the actual forge area is the size of this office.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not big.
No.
Oh god, that must have been so hot as well.
And the amazing bit in there was that that whole area of Mill Green used to have an engineering firm. I think it was Starkey's Engineering, and they used to make steam engines.
Okay.
And the forge is where they did all the forging for the steam engines.
Right.
So the workbench in there was 6 inches of solid steel.
Okay.
And I mean, it's the same sort of size as our workbenches, so nearly 3 meters by 1.5 meters. So that took up the most of them.
Yeah.
And that was solid 6 inches.
Holy shit.
When they did the tank testing in Hatfield House, whenever they broke anything, it went to there to be repaired.
Right.
And yeah, I don't know how they got that piece of steel out.
No.
Don't know how they got it in.
Yeah.
But when Hatfield House renovated it, well, I don't know if they did it when they renovated it or when it sat empty for ages. When we moved out, it sat empty for years.
Yeah.
Eventually, a photo studio went in there. I don't know if it moved out then or after then, but that was a big, heavy. I would have liked to have had that piece of steel.
Yeah, I bet. Well, that's because I own one of your original workbenches.
Yes.
Which is fucking huge. But that took all of us, forklift, and a lot of swearing, and me getting trapped against the wall to get that into my place. So that's amazing. Okay, so as a kid growing up with a man who works with his hands and doing all that, you know, are you impressed by him at that point? Are you impressed by that? Did you grow up thinking, I'm going to be a blacksmith?
No.
No, because you were a flipping mechanic.
I went to be a mechanic.
Why is that?
My brother was always, I'm going to be a blacksmith.
Right.
And typical sibling rivalry, I never wanted to do anything my brother did.
Yeah.
So
You go and do that. I'm going to mend cars.
yeah.
Right.
But
what's weird?
One of my other uncles was a truck mechanic, and I loved trucks. So it was like, I want to be a mechanic. Couldn't get into trucks initially. Went and did a mechanic course at Oaklands College. Didn't quite complete that one when I got a role to go to S&B Commercials and work on trucks. So it was like, yes, please.
Right, I'm going latest.
Yeah.
Cool. So what's the juxtaposition then is that you're, as far as I'm aware, your brother is not a blacksmith, you are.
Yeah.
And is he working on trucks by any chance?
No.
Okay. Because that would be the perfect circle, would it not? So what? Okay. So right. When did you decide then? This is I'm gonna stop this and do this.
It was so. I didn't fall out of love with working on trucks. I fell out of love with working for a manager.
Yeah.
One of the managers at S&B's, lovely guy, but I was 15 minutes over on a book time on a job as an apprentice, not using any of my own tools because they had 2 depots. I was at the second depot, not using any of my own tools, was using somebody else's tools. They didn't have an overhead crane. They didn't have any of the specialist tools for lifting gearboxes out or anything like that.
Right.
And I did a clutch and gearbox change on an Actros, which was their big truck at the time.
Right.
And I was 15 minutes over the book time. And I was like, yeah, but
You haven't got the tools, son.
I'm a second year apprentice. I'm not supposed to be doing this by myself.
Yeah.
Let alone. And that happened. Typical teenager, it only happened 2 or 3 times. But it was like, you know what? I'm out. I'm not being taken to abuse out of this.
No.
So, teddy bear went in the corner, arms got ripped off. Go see the bosses at the main depot and go, I've had enough. They were great. They wanted me to stay. They wanted, well, okay, you can go until you won't go down there. No, typical hot-headed teenager.
Yeah, no, I'm done.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Oh, you can be a delivery driver. No, I want to work with my hands. I want dirty hands. I want...
Yeah.
what my dad had.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit behind a desk
Drive around
dealing
a
with.
fucking van. Thanks very much.
Well, sat behind a wheel, sat behind a desk. Don't want any of that. I want to work with my hands. So fell out over there, and Dad, I need a job.
Right.
Well, okay, you can come and work for me, but you're only working for me until you sort yourself out.
Yeah.
And I went and worked for him, and sorting myself out was
Still waiting to sort itself out.
now running the business.
Yeah. I think what's beautiful about that, right, is the fact that when you needed him, he was there.
Yeah.
Right? Which is great in itself. But then also by that juxtaposition at the end of like his working time, you were there for him as well. You know, it was like, look, mate, do what you need to do. There's no constricts on you, but also you're still there to help me. Because I mean, and I don't want to be maudlin. I
He
don't want to do
forgot
anything.
more than I know.
What? Right. So I was going to say there must be still times where you turn around and go, if my dad was there, I could find out how to do that.
Yep.
And that's also beautiful. It means that there's still this massive respect for that man who I know for you was larger than life. Do you know what I mean? And that's amazing. So this family orientated business, you know, you've got an uncle in there, you've got you've got a family dynamic that made this thing successful, right? Now, for people who don't know what, you know, blacksmithing these days, right? So blacksmithing back then, a lot of it was in the forge and doing all this. Now there's a lot more welding, there's a lot more manufacture.
Yeah, so if we go back to the Baba thing, the main reason Baba started was the idea is that years ago, labour and materials were cheap.
Yeah.
So you could have everything you wanted. If you go round any stately estate, you would see fantastic ironwork, fantastic woodwork, fantastic plaster work, because it was cheap. And most of the time, those estates had people on the estate who could do most of those skills. Maybe not all of them. Maybe you had to get an out-of-source plasterer to do the special plastering work. But sometimes they were on the estate. And it was all, look at me. Look at the talent I have on my estate.
Yeah.
So years gone by, material-wise, nowadays material's done by weight. Whatever it weighs is the price per tonne. Back then, square bar and round bar was more expensive because you had to make it round.
Yeah.
Making something square is easy.
Yeah.
Making it round takes a bit more talent. So if you look at country estates and you have fancy railings, the big heavy stuff, square.
Yeah.
Because it's big, heavy, chunky, look at me. The more delicate stuff going around the estate, some of it will be round bar. And it was because, look at the talent my blacksmith's got. He can do round bar.
Yeah.
And it was all one-upmanship. It was always
show off statement pieces. Yeah. And also, I mean, you know, the landed gentry have always been about, look at what I have, look at where I am. And I get that.
Still are.
In a way, yeah, well, I don't know any anymore. That's true, is it? I was just thinking, I know they're dead. But it's intriguing the way that this has gone. This all used to be everything handmade, everything hammered, everything used.
But now everything's produced by machine. So that's why material is done by weight, because obviously round bar, they both square, round and square go through a set of rollers to produce the size they are.
Yeah.
A 12mm square has more surface area than 12mm round.
So it's going to be
more expensive because it weighs more per metre.
And also, round now is just spewed out and, you know, all of that instead of on. Okay. So, as a human being working in something that's based generationally for you, what's changed now?
So with the Baba Group, the idea is that because they knew labour and materials were going to get expensive. Labour's getting more expensive, materials are going up. How can we make things productively, cheaply, so that we don't lose business? And that's how it started. So they would go around, they had forgings. They would go to someone's forge over the course of a weekend, have a meal, have some drinks in the evening, but during the day be working on the forge. When I do this scroll, I do it like this. Well, I do it like this, and it saves me 15 minutes. And it was about sharing the knowledge.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And they still have the forgings now, and it's still about sharing the knowledge. the great thing about them now is that it's about not losing that skill to look after the old stuff.
Because that's a very real concern. I mean, you know, the people like, you know, your dad's generation, right, has passed it on to you to so much. But I mean, where there was a blacksmith in every major town and smaller towns because there had to be, now they're just.
That's why the name
isn't.
Smith was so popular, because there was always a smith in some in a village.
Nobody probably equates that. Yeah, I mean, the fact of the matter is that a smith was needed from medieval times up. You know, I don't know if it's medieval times, but that'll do. You know, you've got to find yourself, you know, that way of dealing with things. So now you've seen a different time to what you're actually working in now.
Yeah. So the modern blacksmith is. We pride ourselves on being the traditional blacksmith in the fact we do everything. Yeah. Because the traditional local village blacksmith did everything.
Yeah.
He was the farrier as well, so he shod the horses. Yeah. He made the horseshoes. He made the cob nails. Mm-hmm. He repaired or made the farm machinery. Yeah. He made local hand tools. Mm. He made the railings. Mm. He did everything. And obviously, not everyone can afford me to be on the forge for 8 hours a day, sweating my bollocks off, just to make 2 spades, 4 spades, when they're knocked out for a penny from China. Yeah. Yes, so they're not going to last the same, but
then they're so cheap, you just buy another one.
You buy another one.
Yeah. And that's, okay, here's the pious moment. That's what's wrong with the fucking world, right? I'm going to buy something cheap and it doesn't matter, I'll just replace it.
And then they come to me to repair it, and it's like, but it's going to cost me more to repair that than it is to buy another one. Yeah.
I've got, do you know Alex? Hippie?
Yes.
Right, so Alex comes to me, right, with his old tools, like, so when he does fencing and stuff and his pole digger, right? Yep. And the reason that he comes to me to fix that is, 1, I don't charge him, but 2, also, he loves these things, right? And he is one of the only people in the world now that I know that goes, I love this. You're going to fix it. So I've welded them things more time. I put on 4 new sets of handles. And I've only been doing this for 10 years. Do you know what I mean? Or 6 years or 8 years, whatever it is.
We've got a couple of guys that do fencing, and they do the traditional fencing. So they do hedge laying and all that lot, as well as, I can't remember the name of the tool, but it is basically a curved axe. But instead of the blade being that way, the blade's this way. Right. And it's for chopping the wood in a certain way.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the ones that comes to us, it's 100 years old, the head on it. But he brings it to us, we sharpen it, it goes back out. Yeah. And he will always use that because he knows exactly how it works. Yeah. Whereas if he gets another one, it's not going to work the same until he learns how that particular one works.
Yeah, and also, there's something to be said for picking up that trusted tool, you know. And one day it may snap. Or you know, whatever, but it's not likely because it's fucking everything. But I mean, I'll give you a clue, right? Ball peen hammers.
Yep.
I don't know if you remember that I've got a small fetish for them. So every time I went anywhere, right, and there was an antique looking hammer, right? One, because when we used to ride our Harleys, we had one in the side, so somebody cut across.
Don't know why.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because we would crash the fucking wind mirrors off and go, don't, and they would shit themselves. Either not call the police or call the police, but by which stage we were gone. But, you know, but all of those hammers that I have one hammer, right, that I happen to know, you know, it's got 1920, right, cast on it or whatever. I mean, I don't know. And I love that hammer and I use it for everything, even things I shouldn't use. You know, I need a tiny little hammer. I'm using this fucking great thing because it's mine. And I get that. I get that feeling of pride in my tools, which is weird because, you know, I'm you know, I came to this. I'm a journeyman as it goes with what I do.
But it's part of the art though, isn't it? It's part of it. It's the same. I love my dad's tools. My dad, there's a mallet that I've got that sits in my porch that I remember watching my dad do all sorts of stuff.
Watch out, neighbours. He's got a mallet in his porch.
It serves another purpose, obviously. Yeah. But it's just a beautiful thing. Yeah. Wooden handle. It's not got a rubber handle. It's got a wooden handle. Yep. It's clearly been used. It's just a beautiful thing. And for someone that and I do bits and bobs of DIY, but I'm not a craftsman. Mm. But yeah, I think they're wonderful. And then you go to an antiques fair or whatever, and I always look at the tools, the planes and whatever.
I usually buy them.
Yeah. I was going to say, all the modern hammers we got at the workshop, they're all fiberglass shaft, but we don't use them for forging. They are for hitting stuff that don't matter. Yeah. Because you don't get the same feel with it. Whereas with a good wooden handle, most of the time you've probably shaped it to your hand as well because you're working with it all day. You know how it's going to strike. Once you know how that hammer works, you know you're not going to bruise the material. And it's the same with woodwork. You hit it wrong with the wrong hammer, you're going to put a bruise in it. And
I just I mean when you're my planishing hammers, right? I was tempted to buy one of the cheapest shit ones from like the internet, you know, to get me going, and they were 89 quid, right? And I thought, if I buy that, that's going to break, and I'm going to be very disappointed with my life, right? So I found my planishing hammers, which are now they're obviously it came in a wooden case, right? Yep. So that kind of shows I have no idea how old they are. They're probably 60s, I would have thought. 50s, 60s, and they're, you know, all the flats and the rounds and all of that. And very rarely do I shape metal, but actually building the trike, we're going to have to, and I might have to learn how to do that. But it's that box and those hammers, they're the things that I look for. I mean, I've got fucking hundreds of screwdrivers and shit and fucking spanners and all that, and I don't give a shit about any of them because there's millions of them. Because every time anyone's got a box of tools from their granddad said, they go, "Oh, you do tools, here you are, mate." And I'm like, I'm not ungrateful, but I'm like, okay, I've got more shit now. But having those key tools, they're a part of you, and I love that. And I know that I'm droning on about it, but I love it.
I can guarantee this. It comes in waves and waves. Sometimes it's early spring, sometimes it's end of summer, but we will get forks that they've been using in the garden, digging them too hard, broken the tine off. Can you fix it? It was my granddad's.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But you look at it, and the handle's it's dirty.
Yeah, but it's
a
there.
Good quality wooden solid handle. You can see the grain is a tight grain.
Yeah.
It's not a loose grain. It's not going to twist, buckle just by sitting there in the moisture.
Yeah.
It's solid.
It's not fucking plastic. Yeah.
It's not plastic.
Okay. We're moving into a stage now where modern methods are facilitating you to be able to do things that are mass produced in China, but also gives you the scope to literally cut anything.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've got a CNC plasma cutter, which allows us to cut various shapes into steel. I say various shapes, any shape, into sheet metal.
I've given you quite a lot of shapes over the years.
Yeah.
And they're still, actually, I haven't picked the D's up. I've got that. But what's interesting is, from your perspective, it's not, oh, that's new, I don't want that. It's, this will help me.
Yeah, so although Dad couldn't do the technology of the CNC machine, Dad always wanted something like that. Because Dad always used to say, all you got to do is look at Sir Christopher Wren and Brunel. Brunel created the technologies to create the stuff he did.
Yeah.
If it wasn't available, he went, well, okay, and you've got big sod-off Brunel power steam hammers that he used to create the iron bridges, the iron boats, all of that. If he had today's technology with today's tools, how much grander and better would those things be?
Yeah, absolutely.
So for Christopher Wren, creating St. Paul's Cathedral,
Yeah.
He drew and designed that all with pen and paper. A lot of architects still do. But if he had today's technology and powered tools with computers and architectural tools that they have,
yeah,
how much grander would St. Paul's be?
Yeah,
when
true.
materials was cheap, labour was cheap.
Yeah.
That's how they could get away with building so grand things.
Yeah.
Well, if they had the tools to make it bigger and better,
imagine
they would have.
Yeah. Also, there's another argument.
We use those tools.
Yeah, and that acceptance of moving forward, even for, I never questioned your dad about any of that because, fucking hell, didn't want to ask him too many questions, to be fair. He was a busy man. But what's impressive is the fact that you can do these things with this. And you say to me, you go, look, don't make that our hand. We'll just buy this because now we can. And it's like, so if you want me to make you this scroll, I got it right instead of a swirl. I got into trouble from your uncle.
Swirly thing.
Yeah, because I made a swirl on the thing and he just laughed at me for about an hour. You didn't, he did. And you said, Jim, it's a scroll. I'm like, all right. But anyway, I digress. The important thing is that the ability to upgrade, move forward. The reason I got one of your benches is because you've upgraded to these amazing welding benches that you can put a clamp anywhere.
Yep.
You can literally build anything. And I think a world without limits is a world we all strive for. And so, so just for me personally, we if I come up with an idea that I want made out of metal, which I have done, and I haven't got anything here because I'm not allowed to bang holes in the wall. Oh yeah, my old madhouse sign, yeah, behind you. Right, I come to you and I go, right, I need this. Can you do something? And I don't normally ask you what. You just do it because you're better off me than I am. But recently, I had a D with a tail on it for Distortion logo, and obviously I've mentioned briefly that we're building a trike for me when we get there, right? So I just thought that needs to be part of it because that's part of me. And then I just thought, well, yeah, there you go. And also the little bits for the frame.
Yeah.
So the engine frames, like nuts that you can't buy for a jigsaw for love nor money. Well, we've just made how many?
I think I've got 16 cut.
16?
Yeah.
Nice. Until the bill comes. So what's important to you now is it keeping that original knowledge and ability, but facilitating jobs to keep like yourself in the game with price.
Yeah, because we're going through it at the moment. Because obviously, so last year wasn't our best year. We've had good years for years. Last year has been a bit funny. People haven't spent the same sort of money. We've not had the same big jobs that we used to have every year. Some regular work we tend to always get hasn't always happened. It's been a bit sporadic. And just the financial year, how everyone is, has just given us a downturn of work.
Yeah.
So we're reassessing how we price certain jobs to stay in the game.
Yeah.
But with that, we're going, okay, well, what can we do to make life easier for us? So we're looking at, okay, can we use the CNC machine more? Is it worth actually having a guy doing nothing but run that CNC machine all day? Maybe only 1 day, 2 days, 3 days a week.
Yeah.
But just knocking out some bits that we can just sell to keep money coming in.
Because we had a little idea, but none of us were ever fucking not busy enough to do it. Like, we would just put up through and sell out these metal items. And we did sell quite a lot at one point. But then obviously you got busy. I got busy.
I'm never not busy.
Yeah, and then well, you've been busy since the day you were born, but I haven't. But yeah, and then we couldn't do it. But it makes perfect sense. Also, residual earning is key to life these days. Yeah. And residual earning is something where you are in bed at night, and the website is click, click, click for sales because you're not part of it. You're not there. It happens automatically. Yeah, you've got to still make it, but the machine can make it as long as there's a boy stood in front of it, or a man, preferably, who knows what they're doing. Because obviously you have to program these machines. Do you know what I mean? But if they're formulaic products, i.e. you've programmed in the 150 products.
So the hardest part, the programming side of it is easy because the computer does most of that. It's the designing of that thing to make sure it's going to cut well, effectively, have the design you want without it falling apart. And it's not that I couldn't get anyone else to do it. It's just,
well, you want to do
that's
it.
my part.
Yeah, I am the designer. Because you do spend a fair amount of time. What's that software called? I've completely blanked it. The one that I could never learn.
SketchUp?
Yeah, SketchUp. Right.
I was going to say, there's a few.
Yeah, there's quite a lot, Jim. Right, so I use all Adobe products to do with film, to do with Photoshop, and I can use them all the way through, right? SketchUp would have saved my life, and I would not have had to go to Robin every 10 minutes going, can you do me a drawing because I can't do it? Right?
The annoying thing is it's so easy to use.
Yeah, but you say that. My brain just went, no. No, Jim. Put down the laptop, right? So then I'd have to call Robin and go, yeah, you said you were there on Saturday. Yes, Jim, what do you need drawing? Which was great because you did it with a good grace, apart from, are you ever going to learn how to do this? But
all it ever cost me was some coffee.
Yeah, quite a lot of coffee if it was me. But yeah, I mean, it's exciting to know Well, obviously, I know you personally, but I know your family and I know the dynamics, and I love the fact that it stayed in your hands. And Claire, your wife, is the rod of iron that rules that desk in the best way.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Fully respectful of her. Even I'm nice to her because I know what'll happen if I'm not. Do you know what I mean? So I come in and say hello. She's always smiling at me. I think I'm all right for now, touch wood. But it's one of those things where you've got your wife working for you, right? You're the dynamic duo, for Christ's sake. You've had kids together, right? You've lived through that. You can do anything. And now all of a sudden, because I remember when you said to me, and I think it's 3 or 4 years ago, you said, this is the first year we've made some real money. And that was because, you know, Claire was starting to come in and things were moving.
So we've always made money. It's just never been big money. It's always been the good side of the balance line.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a few years where it was really good.
Yeah, and I think
Claire running the finances and calling cash in when it's supposed to be in and all that lot.
Right?
Yeah.
And also, in this world, your wife is the only one, and I don't just mean your wife, I mean all of our wives, that will take some kind of shit from. You know, if there's a woman in the office who decides to boss you about and she works for you, no. And then that's that. And then maybe that's, you know, and it doesn't have to be a woman before anyone bites my head off. It can be a man telling me what to do. It would still be no. So what's good is there's a future. So what does the future hold? Because believe it or not, we're running out of time. So what does the future hold for Blacksmith Hands? Are you going to carry on? Are you going to teach someone to blacksmith?
So we've got an apprentice who, as I said earlier, he's pretty much there.
Can he get on the fire though?
He needs more fire time.
Yeah.
But we've got another lad who, he wasn't an apprentice. He came to us semi-trained. He'd been to other blacksmith shops and had worked for them, and they didn't teach him enough.
Right.
And they weren't willing to teach him.
Oh, okay.
Which was, he's a great guy. He can learn. He's still young and impressionable. He could learn. And he's come to work for us, and I haven't done anything planned out. You must do this. There's no syllabus.
No.
It's just give it a go.
Yeah.
Get on the forge. I need 3 of them, so make 5.
Yeah.
We use the best 3.
Right. Still, to have that permission to do it as somebody learning, right? So back to my clients, you know, they all know what they're going to do. And I've been there. I've been in that situation. I don't know how to do that. Yes, you do. Just go and fucking do it, right? Giving him that time. Also, that energy where you go, make 5 because you're going to drop the ball. Yeah. And that's okay. I think that's awesome.
Obviously, with what you do, the tools are in here.
Yeah.
With what I do, there's a bit of tool in here, but the big tool is going to do the job. So we've got the power hammer.
Yeah.
But until you stick that piece of metal in and go, bang, oh, that's how the material moved.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to do this. And you manipulate your movement accordingly to how it's going to do.
After you've actually got over shitting yourself for the first time because you think it's going to kill you.
Nearly killed my dad. Nearly killed my uncle.
Yeah, well, luckily...
not nearly killed me.
Yeah, that's no good. Okay, I'm glad that places like yours still exist. And I'm glad that you are able to adapt to the modern world, but you're not swallowed by it. Because the reality is, if you want to buy these things, yeah, of course you can buy stuff cheap from China, but good luck with that, because after 10 minutes, that wafer-thin bollocks of a gate is going to rot and fall apart. Then some prick's going to bring it to you and go, can you fix it? And you're going to go, no, fuck off and buy another one.
Years ago, we had a customer come to us, can you buy us a gate? And this was 15 years ago. And our gates back then started at 120 quid. Yep. Unfortunately, a bit more now.
Yeah.
But back then, 120 quid, 6-foot gate, 3 foot wide, start at 120. And then depending on what you want in there, go up. And he went, oh, I can buy that gate from B&Q for 30 quid. And I turned around and we went, go on then.
Exactly that. Go on then, son.
6 months later, he turned up with that gate bent in half where the burglar came in, put his foot against the thing and bent the top down and climbed through. Yeah. Can you straighten it? Not for 30 quid. Go buy another one.
Yeah. That's everything that's wrong with the world, right? Because also, when you want something and it's important, so the security of your home, right? Now, I'm not just saying this because I'm your mate, but if I want something that's going to protect my family, I'm going to want to come to you and go, I don't really give a shit.
Have you got a baseball bat?
Yeah, I have. No, I have not. No, because I do, and it's always with the baseball next to the baseball glove. Yeah.
You don't want me to put a hot spike for it
in the boot of my car. No, because that would be terribly illegal. Yeah. Okay. Fuck it. We'll talk about it. I think right. We got to end. I'm grateful you came today because it's very rare that we get to talk to actual people doing the actual things. You know, we talk to a lot of people and all our guests are amazing, but it's nice to get friends of mine that are involved in something and have been, and it's generational and it's not going away. Because incidentally, if you go away, I'm going to be really angry with you. So it's important to understand that yes, you can buy cheap. Yes, you can get many of them, but they're all shit.
There's a reason why gates are 120 years old.
Yeah.
And they're still here.
Yeah.
They were built well, made well, and still here.
And they still can be. Have you got a website?
Yeah.
Millgreen Forge?
Millgreen Forge, it's millgreenforge.com.
.com. Right, we'll put that in the doobly-doo. What I'd like you to do is understand that my friend Robin and his family and the people that work with him are able to make something that is special and individual. And as we get more and more into the world of mass production and cheap, you lose the ability to be an individual through the things you own. The reason people came to me for tables was because I didn't make the same shit as everybody else. And also, if I did make it, it was there, that 3.5 meter long X table with a glass insert. How the fuck I made that? Well, I do know, because you made the torsion rails for it, right? But how we made that, and I made most of that on my own. And then, welding it together through. And we did it. But I did it because you helped me and your knowledge put through. And you would sand in 3.5 meter boards. I got everyone involved. George wasn't even there filming it, but he didn't know me then. But
it will be solid until the day they decide to not have it.
Well, Matthew, sadly, is no longer with us. But Susie, his wife, phoned me the other day and said, right, we love that table, right? Can you come and re-wax the planks? Because we've literally worn it out. Because they just eat off it. They sit at it. The kids, when they were little, were stabbing it. And it wasn't made to be this beautiful showpiece. It was made to be used every fucking day, and it is. And I love that. And rest in peace, Matthew. I love the fact that his family is still in that huge house. They're still doing what they do and using my table. So if you want to be an individual and you don't want to follow any crowd, then go to millgreenforge.com, which is in the thing underneath, and have a look, because they're good at what they do. Thank you, mate.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.